Hello everyone, and welcome to this video. In this video, we'll be considering Bgcse Biology 2018, Paper 1. Let's begin. So here we have the cover page, Biology, Paper 1, 2018, and this is a Bgcse National Examination. Let's begin. So question number 1 says, which term is used to describe the process by which metabolic wastes are removed from organisms? Is it assimilation, egestion, excretion, or ingestion? The correct answer is definitely going to be C, excretion, because it says which term is used to describe the process by which metabolic wastes are removed, keyword removed from organisms. And excretion, by definition, is the process by which metabolic waste products produced by cells are removed from the body. It includes the removal of waste such as urea, carbon dioxide, and excess salts. So the correct answer here is definitely going to be C, excretion. Let's move on to question number 2, and it says, which is the correct way for writing the scientific name for the NASA grouper? Is it A, is it B, is it C, or is it D? Now, whenever we are writing the scientific name, the scientific name consists of two words, the genus and the species. In scientific naming, the genus name starts with a capital letter, and the species name is written in lowercase, so it starts with a lowercase. And both names must be written in italics, or if we are handwriting it, both names must be underlined. So here, this is definitely the correct answer because the genus name is capitalized, the species name is written in lowercase, and it definitely does start with a lowercase letter, and both of these names or both of these words are in italics. And so the correct answer is definitely going to be B. This is the correct way for writing the scientific name for the NASA grouper. Let's move on to question number 3, and it says the diagram below represents a cell. Which label structure is semi-permeable? Now the answer is definitely going to be A, because A points to the cell membrane, and the cell membrane is a semi-permeable membrane. Label A represents the cell membrane. The cell membrane is semi-permeable because it allows some substances to pass through while preventing others from entering or leaving. So the correct answer is definitely going to be A. Let's move on to question number 4, and it says, which is found in a plant cell and not, keyword not, in an animal cell? Is it cytoplasm, glycogen granules, nucleus, or starch grains? The correct answer is definitely going to be starch grains because starch grains are found in a plant cell, but starch grains are not found in an animal cell. Starch grains are found in plant cells as a storage form of carbohydrates. Animal cells do not store carbohydrates as starch. They store glycogen instead. So the correct answer is definitely going to be D because starch grains are in plant cells and not in an animal cell. Let's move on to question number 5, and it says the diagram shows two cells, cell X and cell Y. So we have cell X here and we have cell Y, and it says which is the correct description of their functions. Is it A, cell X kills germs and cell Y stores food? Is it that cell X produces antibodies and cell Y absorbs sugar? Is it that cell X transports oxygen and cell Y transports sugars? Or is it D, cell X transports oxygen and cell Y absorbs water? The correct answer is definitely going to be D because if you look carefully, cell X is a red blood cell and red blood cells transport oxygen. And cell Y is a root hair cell specialized for absorbing water from the soil. So the correct answer is definitely going to be D because cell X transports oxygen and cell Y absorbs water. Let's move on to question number 6. And question number 6 says, which of the following is a biotic factor in the environment? Is it plant life, rainfall, soil type, or temperature? The correct answer is definitely going to be A, plant life, because when we're talking about a biotic factor is a living component of the environment. Plant life is living, while rainfall, soil type, and temperature are abiotic factors, non-living factors. So the biotic factor, from this list, the biotic factor in the environment is definitely going to be plant life because plant life is a living. So the correct answer is definitely going to be A. Let's move on to question number 7. And question number 7 says, which is the correct biological term for all of the interconnected feeding relationships in an ecosystem? Is it food chain, food interaction, food network, or food web? And the correct answer is definitely going to be D, food web, because all the interconnected feeding relationships in an ecosystem form a food web. A food web shows how multiple food chains are linked together. So in an ecosystem, we have different food chains, and a food web shows how multiple food chains link together. So the correct answer is definitely going to be D, food web. Let's look at question number 8, and it says the flow diagram shows one set of feeding relationships in a pond. So we have pondweed, we have mosquito larva, we have small fish, and we have a large fish. So the mosquito larva eats the pondweed, the small fish eats the mosquito larva, and the large fish eats the small fish. And it says, at which trophic level is the small fish? Is it A1, B2, C3, or D4? And the correct answer is definitely going to be C3, because the pondweed is the producer at trophic level 1. The mosquito larva are the primary consumers at level 2, and the small fish eats the mosquito larva, so it is at trophic level 3. So the correct answer is definitely going to be C, trophic level 3. Let's move on to question number 9, and it says, which enzyme can be used to speed up the digestion of fat? Is it amylase, is it carbohydrates, is it lipase, or is it protease? And the correct answer is definitely going to be C, lipase, because lipase is the enzyme that breaks down fats into fatty acids and glycerol. This speeds up the digestion of fats in the digestive system. So the correct answer is definitely going to be C, lipase. Let's move on to question number 10, and it says that the graph shows the effect of temperature on the rate of enzyme activity in the mouth. So on the x-axis or on the horizontal axis, we have temperature measured in degrees Celsius, and on the y-axis, which is the vertical axis, we have rate of reaction of enzyme. And if we look here at about 40 degrees, we have the maximum value, or we have the peak. This is showing at 40 degrees, we have the highest rate of enzyme activity, or at 40 degrees, we have the highest rate of reaction of the enzyme. And so the question says, at which temperature in degrees Celsius will starch be changed to sugar fastest in the mouth? Is it A, B, C, or D? And the correct answer is definitely going to be D, because the graph shows that enzyme activity increases with temperature and reaches its highest point at about 40 degrees Celsius. This is where starch is changed to sugar at the fastest rate in the mouth. So the correct answer is definitely going to be D, 40 degrees Celsius. Let's move on to question number 11, and it says, which diagram shows an enzyme substrate complex? Is it A, B, C, or D? The correct answer is definitely going to be B, because an enzyme substrate complex is formed when the substrate is fitted into the active site of the enzyme. Diagram B shows the substrate bound to the enzyme, forming this complex. So the correct answer is definitely going to be B. Let's move on to question number 12, and it says the diagram shows the beginning of an experiment on osmosis. Which level of salt solution would be shown after 3 hours? So we have level A, we have a B, and B is the first level. We have C, and we have D. So which level of salt solution will be shown after 3 hours? The correct answer is definitely going to be A, because water moves by osmosis from the distilled water into the salt solution through the potato tissue. This causes the volume of the salt solution to increase, not decrease. So its level rises above the first level. So here, this is where we were, the first level, but it's going to rise. It's going to rise to this level, which we have as A. So the correct answer here is going to be A. Let's move on to question number 13. And it says, which part of a leaf is correctly matched to its function? So is it palisade mesophyll, contains numerous chloroplasts for photosynthesis? B, spongy mesophyll, tightly packed to absorb carbon dioxide? Is it C, stoma, transports water? Or is it D, waxy cuticle, reduces water loss from lower surface? The correct answer is definitely going to be A, palisade mesophyll, because palisade mesophyll contains many chloroplasts and is the main site of photosynthesis in the leaf. So the correct answer is definitely going to be A, palisade mesophyll. Let's move on to question number 14, and it says, which substance is responsible for giving plants a green color? Is it A, auxin, B, chlorophyll, C, starch, or D, sucrose? And the correct answer is definitely going to be chlorophyll, because chlorophyll is the green pigment found in plant cells. It absorbs light energy for photosynthesis and reflects green light, giving plants their green color. So the correct answer is definitely going to be B, chlorophyll. Let's move on to question number 15, and it says, the diagram shows the internal structure of a human kidney. Which structure is responsible for transporting urine to the bladder? This is definitely going to be A, this structure, and this structure is definitely the ureter. So structure A is the ureter, which carries urine from the kidneys to the bladder. It transports urine away from the kidney after it has been formed. So the correct answer is definitely going to be A, the ureter. Let's move on to question number 16, and it says, which substance would be present in the urine of a healthy person? Is it A, amino acid, B, glucose, C, protein, or D, urea? The correct answer is definitely going to be D, urea, because urea is a waste product formed in the liver and removed from the blood by the kidneys. It is normally present in the urine of a healthy person. So in the urine of a healthy person, you're definitely going to have urea, and that's going to be D. Let's move on to question number 17. It says, what is the name of the fluid that is found at a movable joint? Is it the cartilage? Is it serum? Is it synovial? Or is it tissue? And the correct answer is definitely going to be C, synovial, because the synovial fluid is found in movable joints. Now, what is the purpose of the synovial fluid? Well, the synovial fluid lubricates the joint and reduces friction during movement. So the correct answer is definitely going to be C, synovial fluid. Let's move on to question number 18, and it says, the diagram shows a human brain. Which label on the diagram points to the cerebellum? Now the answer is definitely going to be D, because D points to the cerebellum, and the cerebellum is the rounded structure at the back of the brain. It is responsible for balance and coordination. Let's move on to question number 19, which says, the diagram shows a section part of the human eye when looking at an object in two different positions. So here we have P and here we have Q. What has happened to cause the change in the lens from P to Q? So here we have P and here we have Q. Notice that we do see a change from P to Q. So what has happened to cause this change in the lens from P to Q? Well, is it the object has moved from dark to light? Is it that the object has moved from far to near? Or is it that the object has moved from light to dark? Or the object has moved from near to far? The correct answer is definitely going to be B, the object has moved from far to near, because from P to Q, the lens becomes thicker and more curved. This change happens when focusing on a narrow object. So the object moved from far to near. So the correct answer is definitely going to be B. The object has moved from far to near. Let's move on to question number 20. And for question number 20, we're going to be looking at this diagram, but not only for question number 20, but also for question number 21. And here it says, the diagram shows the respiratory system. Use the diagram to answer questions 20 and 21. So here we have the respiratory system, and it says, what is the function of the cartilage rings in tube P? So here we have tube P, and they're asking us what is the function. So this is tube P, and they're asking us what is the function of the cartilage rings in tube P? Is it A, to filter dust and bacteria out of inhaled air? Is it B, to force air out of the lungs? Is it C, to prevent the collapse of the tube? Or is it D, to protect the blood vessels supplying the lungs? The correct answer is definitely going to be C. The cartilage rings in tube P keep the airway open. They prevent the tube from collapsing during breathing. So that is the function of the cartilage rings in tube P. They prevent the collapse of the tube. So the correct answer is definitely going to be C. Let's move on to question number 21. And we're looking at the same diagram. And it says, which labeled structure shows where gaseous exchange takes place? Well, gaseous exchange takes place in the alveoli, and so that is going to be R. So the correct answer is definitely going to be C. Gaseous exchange takes place in the alveoli. Label R points to the alveoli in the lungs. Let's move on to question number 22, and it says, which row shows the correct composition of expired air? Not inhaled air, but expired air. So we have A, B, C, and we have D. So which is the correct answer? Well, the correct answer is definitely going to be B, because we have 16% oxygen, we have 79% nitrogen, we have 4% carbon dioxide, and the water vapor is saturated. Expired air contains a less oxygen, about 16%, because some oxygen is used in respiration. So you're going to be using some oxygen in respiration. It contains more carbon dioxide, about 4%, as a waste product of respiration. And expired air is also saturated with water vapor. So the correct answer is definitely going to be B. Let's consider question number 23. And question number 23 says, a human at complete rest has an energy usage of 4 kilojoules per minute. Glucose has an energy value of 16 kilojoules per gram. How long will 1 gram of glucose last as a source of energy? Is it 4 minutes? Is it 12 minutes? Is it 20 minutes? Or is it 64 minutes? The correct answer is definitely going to be 4 minutes, because 1 gram of glucose provides 16 kilojoules of energy. At a usage rate of 4 kilojoules per minute, this energy will last 16 divided by 4 is going to be 4 minutes. So here the key is that we have to divide. We divide 16 with 4 and we get 4 minutes. So the correct answer is definitely going to be A. Let's move on to question number 24, which says, which of the following are necessary for the process of aerobic respiration to occur? Is it A, glucose and carbon dioxide, glucose and oxygen, glucose and sunlight, or sunlight and carbon dioxide? Well, the correct answer is definitely going to be B, glucose and oxygen, because aerobic respiration uses glucose as an energy source. It also uses oxygen because oxygen is required to release energy from glucose during respiration. So aerobic respiration utilizes glucose and oxygen, and so the correct answer is definitely going to be B. Let's move on to question number 25. It says that the diagram represents an alveolus and its blood supply. What process is represented by arrow W? So here we have arrow W, and it says what process is represented by arrow W? Is it active transport of carbon dioxide, active transport of oxygen, diffusion of carbon dioxide, or diffusion of oxygen? And the correct answer is definitely going to be B, diffusion of oxygen, because oxygen moves from the alveolus. So oxygen is going to move from the alveolus into the blood because its concentration is higher in the alveolus than in the blood. This movement occurs by diffusion, not active transport, across the thin alveolar wall. No energy is required for this process because we're talking about diffusion. So oxygen is going to move from the alveolus in the blood, from the alveolus into the blood because its concentration is higher in the alveolus than in the blood. So ROW the process represented by ROW is definitely going to be diffusion of oxygen. Let's move on to question number 26. And question number 26 says, which equation correctly represents anaerobic respiration? Is it carbon dioxide plus water gives us glucose and oxygen? Is it glucose plus oxygen gives us carbon dioxide and water? Is it glucose gives us ethanol? Or is it glucose that gives us carbon dioxide and ethanol? And the correct answer is definitely going to be D. Remember, we're talking about anaerobic respiration, not aerobic respiration. And in anaerobic respiration, the glucose is broken down without oxygen, not with oxygen, without oxygen. In yeast and plants, this process produces ethanol and carbon dioxide. Oxygen is not involved in this reaction. So the correct answer is definitely going to be D. Let's move on to question number 27. And it says, which gas is needed to remove lactic acid made in the muscle during anaerobic respiration? Is it carbon dioxide, hydrogen, oxygen, or water vapor? The correct answer is definitely going to be oxygen, because oxygen is needed to remove lactic acid after anaerobic respiration. It allows the lactic acid to be broken down during aerobic respiration. This process repays the oxygen depth in the muscles. So the correct answer is definitely going to be C, oxygen. Let's move on to question number 28. And for question number 28 and question number 29, we will be using this diagram. So the diagram represents a longitudinal section of a flower. Use the diagram to answer question 28 and 29. Which part of the flower is responsible for the production of male gametes? The answer is definitely going to be S. That is the anther. So the male gametes in the flower are produced in the anther. Label S points to the anther at the tip of the stamen. The anther produces pollen grains which contain the male gametes. So the correct answer is definitely going to be S, which corresponds to D, the letter D, and that is referring to this structure, label S, is referring to the anther. So let's move on to question number 29. Again, we're using the same diagram, and it says which structures make up the stamen. Is it P and Q? Is it R and S? Is it Q and R? Or is it P and S? And the correct answer is definitely going to be R and S, because R refers to the filament. So R refers to the filament and S refers to the anther. Together, the filament and the anther makes up the stamen. So the stamen is made up of the filament and the anther. In the diagram, R represents the filament and S represents the anther. Together, these two structures form the stamen. So the correct answer is definitely going to be B, R, and S. Let's move on to question number 30, and it says the diagram represents a cross-section of a seed. And so here we have X, structure X. What is the name of the part labeled X? Is it A? Is it the radicle? Is it the test? Or is it the zygote? The correct answer is definitely going to be B, is the radicle, because the name of the part labeled X is the radicle. In botany, the radicle is the first part of a seedling, a growing plant embryo, to emerge from the seed during the process of germination. The radicle is the embryonic root of the plant and it grows downward into the soil. So this part right here is definitely labeled X, and it is the radicle. Let's move on to question number 31, and it says, in addition to a suitable temperature, what else is necessary for seed germination? Is it carbon dioxide and sunlight, minerals and ions, sunlight only, or water and oxygen? And the correct answer is definitely going to be water and oxygen, because water is needed to activate enzymes and start metabolism in the seed. Oxygen is required for respiration to release energy for growth during a germination. So the correct answer is definitely going to be D, water and oxygen. Let's move on to question number 32, and it says, which statement best describes homeostasis? Is it lowering of body temperature, maintenance of constant conditions in the body, production of antibodies, or removal of toxic waste from the body? The correct answer is definitely going to be B, maintenance of constant conditions in the body, because homeostasis by definition is the process by which the body keeps its internal environment stable. This includes regulating temperature, blood glucose, and water balance despite changes outside of the body. So when you think about homeostasis, think about stability, think about balance. So the correct answer is definitely going to be B. Let's move on to question number 33, and it says the diagram shows the response to changes in temperature of blood vessels near the surface of the skin. What is responsible for the change from diagram P to diagram Q? So here we have diagram P and here we have diagram Q, and they're asking us what is responsible for the change from diagram P to diagram Q. So for A, they're saying is that there's a change vasoconstriction and the cause is fall in body temperature. Is the change vasoconstriction and the cause of the change is rise in body temperature? Is the change vasodilation and the cause of the change is fall in body temperature? Or is the change vasodilation and the cause of the change rise in body temperature? So the correct answer is definitely going to be D, vasodilation, because from P to Q, the blood vessels near the skin surface become wider, vasodilation. So the blood vessels near the skin surface become wider, allowing more blood to flow near the surface. This increases heat loss, so heat is going to be lost from the body, which happens when body temperature rises. So the correct answer is definitely going to be D. Let's move on to question number 34, which says, what term describes the growth of a plant root towards gravity? Is it negative geotropism, positive geotropism, negative phototropism, or positive phototropism? The correct answer is definitely going to be B, positive geotropism, because geotropism is a growth response to gravity. Now, plant roots grow towards gravity, so this growth is called positive geotropism. Let's move on to question number 35, and it says, which hormone is needed for phototropism? Is it adrenaline, auxin, insulin, or thyroxine? The correct answer is definitely going to be auxin, because auxin controls phototropism by causing cells on the shaded side of the plant root to elongate more. This unequal growth makes the shoot bend toward the light. So the correct answer is definitely going to be B, auxin. Let's move on to question number 36, and it says, which gland is incorrectly matched with the hormone it produces? So we're looking for the one that is incorrectly matched, not the one that's correctly matched, but the one that is incorrectly matched. So we have hormones and we have glands. So is it adrenaline and the pituitary gland? Is it insulin and the pancreas? Is it estrogen and ovary? Is it progesterone and the ovary? And the one that's incorrectly labeled is definitely adrenaline and pituitary gland, because adrenaline is produced not in the pituitary gland, but is produced by adrenal glands, not the pituitary gland. So adrenaline is produced by the adrenal glands and it's not produced by the pituitary gland. The pituitary gland, however, produces hormones such as growth hormone and ADH, antidiuretic hormone. So this pairing is incorrect. So adrenaline and pituitary gland, that pairing is not correct. So the correct answer is definitely going to be A. Let's move on to question number 37. It says, which hormone prepares the body for action in emergency situations? Is it adrenaline, human growth hormone, insulin, or testosterone? And the correct answer is definitely going to be A, adrenaline, because adrenaline prepares the body for emergency situations by increasing the heart rate, the breathing rate, and blood flow to the muscles. This allows the body to react quickly in a fight or flight response. So the correct answer is definitely going to be A, adrenaline. Question number 38 says, which artery carries deoxygenated blood? Coronary artery, hepatic artery, pulmonary artery, or renal artery? And the correct answer is definitely going to be C, pulmonary artery. In fact, the pulmonary artery is the only artery that carries deoxygenated blood. The other arteries carries oxygenated blood. The pulmonary artery transports blood from the heart to the lungs for oxygenation. So the correct answer is definitely going to be C, pulmonary artery. Let's move on to question number 39, and it says, what is the function of white blood cells called phagocytes? Again, what is the function of white blood cells called phagocytes? Is it to carry oxygen around the body? Is it to engulf invading bacteria? Is it to heal cuts and bruises? Or is it to produce antibodies? And the correct answer is definitely going to be B, engulf invading bacteria. Because phagocytes, they protect the body by engulfing and digesting pathogens such as bacteria. This process is called phagocytosis and is part of the body's immune defense. So when we think about our phagocytes, we're definitely thinking about them engulfing and invading bacteria. And so the correct answer is definitely going to be B. Let's move on to question number 40. And question number 40 says, which shows the correct pathway for the circulation of blood in mammals? So is it left ventricle, body, right atrium, left ventricle, then lungs, then left atrium, right atrium, then lungs, then left atrium, or right atrium, then body, then left ventricle? The correct answer is definitely going to be A, because the blood is pumped from the left ventricle to the body through the aorta. Then, after delivering oxygen to body tissues, the blood returns to the heart through the veins. It enters the heart at the right atrium, completing this part of the circulation. So the correct answer is definitely going to be A, left ventricle, then body, then right atrium. Let's move on to question number 41, which says, which food listed below is less likely, keyword less likely to contribute towards coronary heart diseases? Is it A, eggs, B, French fries, C, oatmeal, or D, red meat? The correct answer is definitely going to be C, oatmeal, because oatmeal is high in fiber, which helps lower cholesterol levels in the blood. Low cholesterol reduces the risk of fatty deposits forming in arteries and causing coronary heart disease. So oatmeal is going to be less likely out of all of these options to contribute to coronary heart diseases. Let's move on to question number 42, which says, which marine mollusk is typically found in the Bahamian diet? Is it Nassau grouper, the queen conch, spiny lobster, or stone crab? The correct answer is definitely going to be B, the queen conch, because the conch is a tropical marine mollusk found throughout the waters of the Bahamas. The queen conch is a soft-bodied edible sea snail with an external spiral-shaped shell with a glossy pink or orange interior. So B is the queen conch, and that is the marine mollusk that is typically found in the Bahamian diet. Let's move on to question number 43, which says we have a diagram, and the diagram represents a map showing the major fishing areas of the Bahamas. So here we have A, and it says which fishing area is labeled A. Is it Grand Bahama Bank, Great Bahama Bank, Lesser Bahama Bank, or Little Bahama Bank? The correct answer is definitely going to be B, Great Bahama Bank, because the fishing area labeled A is called the Great Bahama Bank. Great Bahama Bank is a large shoal off the Bahamas, separated from the Little Bahama Bank by Northwest Providence Channel. Its marine life is abundant and varied, making it a prized fishing area. So the correct answer is definitely going to be B, Great Bahama Bank. Let's move on to question number 44, and it says the diagram shows the quantity of various reef fish that were exported over a 3-year period. Again, the graph shows the quantity of various reef fish that were exported over a 3-year period. So here we have grunt, we have a grouper, we have snapper, and we have turbot. And they're asking us which fish was exported in the largest quantity over the 3 years. And the correct answer is definitely going to be grouper. And why is that? Because if we look at the grunt, so the grunt in year 1 was 4. As we can see, year 1 it was 4. The grunt in year 2 was 2. So we have 2. The grunt in year 3 was 3. So we have 3. So 4 plus 2, that's 6. 6, 7, 8, 9. That's going to be 9 in total. Then we have the grouper. So the grouper is represented by these. So the grouper in year 1 is 4. So it's 4 right here. The grouper in year 2 is 3. So it's going to be 3 in year 2. And the grouper in year 3 is 5. So 4 plus 3 is 7. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it's definitely going to be 12. So the total is going to be 12. Now let's move on to the snapper. The snapper, well, in year 1, the snapper is 2. So year 1, the snapper is 2. Year 2, the snapper is 2 as well. So it's also 2. Year 3, the snapper is 3. So the snapper is 3 in year 3. And so we have 2 plus 2 is 4. And 4 plus 3 is 7. So the total is going to be 7. And for the turboid, we have, well, so turboid is this. And if we look at the turboid in year 1, the turboid is 2. So the turboid is 2 in year 1. And then in year 2, the turboid is 4. So it's going to be 4 here. And in year 3, the turboid is just 1. And so that means that we have 2 plus 4, which is 6, and 6 plus 1 is 7. So from the table, it is clear that the grouper was the fish that was exported in the largest quantity over the 3 years. Therefore, the correct answer is option A, which is going to be grouper. Let's move on to question number 45. It says, as a result of mitosis, one parent cell produces which one of the following? As a result of mitosis, one parent cell produces which of the following? 1 daughter cell, 2 daughter cells, 3 daughter cells, or 4 daughter cells? And the correct answer is definitely going to be 2 daughter cells, because during mitosis, one parent cell divides once. This produces 2 identical daughter cells with the same genetic material as the parent. So the correct answer is definitely going to be B, 2 daughter cells. Let's move on to question number 46, which says, which type of cell division results in daughter cells with the haploid number of chromosomes? Is it budding, fusion, meiosis, or mitosis? The correct answer is definitely going to be meiosis, because meiosis is the type of cell division that reduces the chromosome number by half. It produces haploid daughter cells, which are needed for sexual reproduction. So the correct answer is definitely going to be C, meiosis. Let's move on to question number 47, which says the diagram shows an Irish potato stem tuber. Which type of reproduction is shown? Is it A, binary fission, B, marcording, C, sexual reproduction, or D, vegetative reproduction? The correct answer is going to be D, vegetative reproduction, because an Irish potato reproduces by forming new plants from stem tubers. This is a form of asexual reproduction called vegetative reproduction, where no seeds or gametes are involved. So the correct answer is going to be D, vegetative reproduction. Let's move on to question number 48, and it says the diagram represents a birth control device. How does this work? Is it A, prevents fertilization of the egg, B, prevents implantation of the egg, C, prevents ovulation, or D, provides a tough coating for the egg? The correct answer is definitely going to be B, because the diagram shows an intrauterine device, IUD. It works by preventing a fertilized egg from implanting in the lining of the uterus. So the correct answer is definitely going to be B, prevents implantation of the egg. Let's move on to question number 49, which says, which is an example of a discontinuous variation within a population of humans? Again, which is an example of discontinuous variation within a population of humans? Is it blood group, hair color, skin color, or weight? And the correct answer is definitely going to be blood group, because blood group shows a discontinuous variation because it falls into distinct categories such as A, B, AB, or O. There are no intermediate values between these groups. So the correct answer is definitely going to be A, blood group. Let's move on to question number 50, and it says the diagram shows the possible genotypes of offsprings from a black fur rat and a brown fur rat litter of rats, resulting from a cross between a black fur rat and a brown fur rat. So here we have the key. Capital B is allele for black fur, and small b is allele for brown fur. And so black rat, so for the black rat, we're going to have what? Capital B, which we put here, small b, which we put here. And we have for brown rat, we have BB, so we're going to have small b and small b. So they're asking us which genotype would be placed in the empty box. So if we look here, so let me use my pen here. So if we look here, we have small b and we have small b. And so that means that in the empty box, we're going to have small b and we're going to have small b. And so that means that the correct answer here is definitely going to be D, small b and small b. So how do we do it? We have small b and small b, which gives us small b, small b. We have small b and we have small b, which gives us small b, small b. We have capital B and small b, which gives us capital B and small b. We have capital B and small b, which gives us capital B and small b. So that means that on the top, we have two small b's, and at the bottom, we have capital B and small b and capital B and small b. So what does this all mean? Well, in the empty box should be placed small b, which we said is the answer D. Thus, the correct answer is option D. All in all, there's a 50% chance that the rat offspring will be brown fur. Note that we have BB twice, so that means that there's going to be a 50% chance that the rat offspring will have brown fur. And there's also a 50% chance that the offspring will have black fur. Note that we have capital B and small b twice. So 50% and 50%. So the correct answer is definitely going to be D, small b, because that's the genotype that should be placed in the empty box. Okay, that brings us to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, everyone. See you soon.